Chip leader in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Lead went from 351 to 389 points after Darlington. Now the biggest lead in the championship this season. He's picked up 131 points over second place Dale Jr. in the last 3 races. The Wallace brothers, both of whom consider this to be one of their best tracks. Rusty in the 2, a 6-time winner here. Kenny in the 23 has 3 NASCAR Busch Series wins here.
And the third Wallace brother, Mike, will be in the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 tomorrow night in the 09 car of James Finch.
Yep. Rusty only qualifying 17th. I'm sure was disappointed in that. Same for Kenny. He qualified 34th. They're running right behind Steve Park, who was in a backup car after a crash in Friday morning practice.
And Rusty says, I think I will go to the garage, and I think I'll talk to Welburn and Thousand and those guys, and we'll make some changes to this car to try to make it better. Dave?
Well, BP, when you see a practice sheet and you see the guy at the top, you always want to go talk to him and find out, well, was that just one good lap, or was the car solid all the way around? And Todd Bodine was quickest in the previous practice. Checked with him, and he said, yeah, the car's pretty good. After all, he qualified 12th, and Todd said, we're going to try a couple of things to work on the front-end geometry, a couple of springs we want to try, but we don't want to mess up the rear end. The rear end is hooking up great. Matty?
And the guy who won last week, a very special win for Terry Labonte to win the Southern 500, a very popular win, trying to win here again at Richmond. Not happy with the way the 5 cars running during this session. He said it feels like it's dragging on the racetrack. Crew Chief Jim Long looked underneath. Yeah, we're dragging Brent up to make a right front spring change. In fact, Wally, he said he felt it more in his footrest. That's how he said he felt like it was dragging on the frame, and he was exactly right. They're going to make a few other changes here on the 5 car as well. Currently 15th in practice.
He's talking about the footrest, Wally. So that means that's a driver that brakes with his right foot. Otherwise, he would never feel the vibration when the car hit the racetrack in his left foot if it were not braking with his right foot.
Yeah, and they have that footrest all the way over there on the left side. And it's actually, yeah, I mean, it's like putting your foot on the roll bar. So you will feel the vibration if it's vibrating, especially through there.
Jeff Gordon going to start 5th tomorrow night. Looking for some speed. He's only 35th fastest in this practice right now. And a brutal month for Jeff Gordon. Said he got another year older in August, and that was probably the best thing that happened to him all month.
And it felt like it was 365 days, not just one day.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty brutal. Got spun out twice at Watkins Glen. Finished 30th at Michigan, had a flat at lap 50, got involved in a wreck at Bristol, finished 28th, got involved in a wreck at Darlington, finished 32nd.
As you say,
not too good. Hey, you know that Stain song I was trying to think of? It's been a while. Was the name of the record. You've probably heard it. You'd know it. It's been a while since Jeff Gordon's won a race.
It's been a while.
How about that? Like since Martinsville in April. Happy hour from Richmond ongoing here. More coverage in a minute. 7 Eastern time.
There's old Tony Stewart will be joining you guys in the booth.
Yep.
I get a day off, but they've told me I got to go down and learn something about the equipment.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
That could be trouble.
I don't know what that means.
More coming shortly here on TNT. Benny's Excellent Adventure. Tony Stewart joined Wally and I for the Busch Series race. Tony Stewart going to start 14th tomorrow night. 3-time winner in 9 starts here at Richmond. Already won this weekend here. Won the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race last night, driving for Andy Petrie.
And see him down next to that yellow line. He'll be down there all night tomorrow night. If he gets slipper down there, he will lose because he'll be down there.
Yeah, a sealer that was applied to this racetrack last year before the spring race. Not been touched up again since. That's been an issue of some discussion in the garage today, saying that it's wearing off the bottom lane faster than the top, and it creates a difference in grip between the 2 lanes as we watch Ricky Rudd.
Actually, no, I don't think anyone has been up there yet on the top groove to see if they can get any bite. But trust me, in the NASCAR Busch Series race, we'll see them up there, and we'll find out where the grip, the best grip, is located. The bottom of the racetrack, the middle, or the top.
Ricky Rudd won this race a couple of years ago, September 2001. Made for a pretty memorable night. He and Kevin Harvick went at it a couple times. Excuse me, I'm coming back through.
Harvick had gotten in the back of Ricky Rudd a lap or so before that, so. And there's Sean Warren fell off the wall.
And Ricky Rudd winning in his home state for a second time, or his home track. He's from Chesapeake, Virginia, about less than an hour's drive down the road from here. Dave, how's his car today?
Well, Alan, I just checked in their pit. They weren't very happy with it in the last session, but the phrase was used, headed in the right direction. In fact, they were just looking at the stopwatch, and they were picking up a tenth over where they were just a little while ago. So they're pretty happy with the way that they're going. Marty?
That's a popular phrase in the garage area, Dave, because that's what Biffle's team said. Greg Biffle's team. Car very good at the beginning of a run, gets a little tight at the end of the run. He described his car as lazy, won't cut in the middle, slides the nose as well, but they are pretty happy with it in the short run. Just kind of goes to junk after about 20 laps. Matty?
Marty, yesterday afternoon, remember Benny? Robbie Gordon was so excited on the plane ride up here. He felt like this was going to be his weekend. Then he qualified 21st. Remember how excited he was?
Oh, I remember. After all, he made up 3 laps here in May to finish 4th.
Not the same car he had here back in May, but very optimistic. Well, right now he's battling the same problem that Terry Labonte is. The car is bottoming out on the right front. He says the car is just way too free in the middle of the corner. He says whatever you guys did to it, the time I was in here before, it has made the car jump. When I jump in the gas, they're going to make a change in that right front as well, and a few other changes. Kevin Hamlin and Robbie talking it over right now, guys.
Jimmy Johnson out on track, getting in some laps. And the 48 car going to start in the 26th position.
You know, and Wally, that's got to be so disappointing for Robbie Gordon, because yesterday afternoon, 24 hours ago, he was so excited about being here, felt like he had a chance to win this race, and now his world is just falling apart.
This business is humbling, isn't it?
It is very humbling.
Get in the race car and you go out there and you go, man, this is going to be great, and all of a sudden things start going the wrong way.
Been kind of a rough week on Ricky Craven. Last Saturday night, Sunday morning, a business that he owns up in his native Maine burned. Got that word just before he started the Southern 500.
And we're not talking about singed.
Yeah.
You're talking about burned.
I'm talking about burned. It's a store he owns that sells ATVs and snowmobiles and things like that, as well as racing souvenirs. So he flew up there Monday to check on that. Flew out to test in Wisconsin on Tuesday. And now he came here to Richmond today and qualified 35th. It's not been a very good week. Not very good. Let's see, where is he in practice? He's 19th right now. And has put 18 laps on the board. Well, I guess, you know, the bright side of the week for Ricky would be that the Red Sox have closed in on the Yankees side in the American League East.
Okay.
So Craven heading back in for some further adjustments. It's Winston Cup final practice from Richmond International.
Last week, David Spade typed off about my driver's license, so we're going to go do a little safety test here. See if I do pass.
I want to see your driver's license. I know it's expired.
Now look at this guy. Woohoo! This thing isn't going, oh yeah, this is a great road. Yeah! Is that a turkey? Oh, man. I think I can beat him. What? I made it!
Okay, now I want you to see this. This was the grade they gave Wally. F. Drive ended because reckless driving, grade F. Okay, it says in 1.28 miles, 3 minor speed violations, 4 major speed violations, 2 reckless speed violations, 1 fatal collision, 1 collision with animal.
Folks, don't try that at home. Man. You were reckless. It says reckless right on there, though, doesn't it?
I think it's well, that's not a very
Reckless
good
driving.
score, but that is a pretty cool thing. If you ever go over and try to do that, it's really pretty neat. The hardest thing about is not to go fast.
Yep.
Because, and you can see all the speeding violations here. That wasn't
the object of the setup. It's from folks at DuPont. It's to teach teenagers about not driving fast and
not driving like Wally.
Like I said, don't try that at home.
Please. I got a 16-year-old who gets his road test a week from Monday. Please don't try this at home. All right, they're getting set to put the cars back out on track. And we're hearing they're going to put them out with the caution flag still out. Run through some of the oil dry that's out there before they cut them loose full tilt. So you've been out there in that situation before. What do you, I mean, just feeling your way, seeing what the track looks like?
Yeah, normally you feel it doesn't take long. You go right through it. And the speedy dry stuff they put down is pretty good stuff. It's not too awful slippery. But you know, most of the time you want about 12 or 15 guys to go out ahead of you.
Tell you what, it looked like Michael Waltrip went through that fourth corner pretty quick. See what he runs this next lap. His fastest lap of the afternoon of this practice session has been 21.946 seconds. That time about 3/4 of a second slower than that.
And they have pulled the yellow flag back in, and we are under green. You know, these racetracks, Bristol, Martinsville, Richmond, the short tracks, they're not the fastest tracks, but boy, they are difficult on a driver physically. You're always in the soup. You're always in the traffic. You're always turning. Very little time on the straightaways to rest, and you will get a workout by the time you're done with 400 laps here.
Yeah, this place isn't quite as bad as Bristol, but you're right. You're always turning. You're always, you know, you got traffic all around you all the time. It's not like you get on a big racetrack, like a 2-mile racetrack, and you get on the straightaways and go, you can take a breather. You never take a breather here at Richmond.
Michael Waltrip, I had a lot of people ask me, is Michael okay? He's lost a lot of weight. Michael's just fine, thank you. He's lost about 35 pounds, said he changed the way he's eating and the things he's eating, and he's training harder and longer and hopes to run another marathon sometime soon, faster than he did the first one. Marty.
Tony Stewart's bunch back in here in the garage, Alan. They will start 14th tomorrow. They're making an adjustment, or have just finished an adjustment. You don't see a whole lot, especially during a happy hour practice where time is limited. They actually moved the truck arms on the bottom of this car. Extremely tight for Tony. That's a major undertaking trying to do that. Took them about 10 minutes to get it done. Lost a lot of track time, but I think it will make the car better. They have 3 Richmond wins, so I'm not going to argue with them. If they think it's going to make it better, you know, they probably have a point.
Jamie McMurray going to start 29th tomorrow night. Got a couple top 5 finishes here in recent weeks. 3rd at Bristol and 4th at Darlington. Dave?
Yeah, and after that great weekend last week for Jamie, led 21 laps of that race. He comes here, and he has all kinds of trouble. Qualified 29th, 20th in the previous session, and somewhere in the 30s now. Talked to Jamie, leaned my head in the window, and asked him what the problem was. He said, we just can't find the balance on this car. They just changed all 4 shocks, all 4 springs, and they had the rear sway bar hooked up. They unhooked that to try it this time.
Jamie McMurray with all of the top 5 finishes that have been recorded by the Ganassi Racing Team so far this season. Who thought that?
Man, we knew he had some talent, but we didn't think that he would do that much better than Sterling Marlin in the 40 car.
So McMurray working on it for Richmond here tomorrow night. And as Dave told you, he's going to come from pretty deep in the field, starting back in 29th place. Bill Elliott will come from 15th on the grid. Good finish last weekend at Darlington. Nice to see Bill up there and knocking around among the top 5. And Jason Leffler about to try and get his car going for tomorrow night's race. He's going to come from 40th starting spot. NASCAR Happy Hour on TNT is brought to you by Carfax. Buying a used car? Get a Carfax Vehicle History Report. Ask your dealer or go to Carfax.com. The Cat Rental Store, where you can rent cat equipment and a whole lot more. And Just for Man, more than a hair color, it's the Rejuvenator. Ends gray in 5 minutes, looks natural.
Hey, there we see Tony Raines, the 74 car, back on the track. And hey, Burns.
Yo, BP, go ahead.
I'll bring you up to speed on the sponsor on the 74 car.
I was on the edge of my seat down here.
I know that you were, so let me tell you that, that you've heard about the concert that Bruton Smith is having at the Lowe's Motor Speedway in October.
Absolutely.
So that's what the sponsor is going to be on the 74 car tomorrow night, trying to promote his thank you for Winston's involvement for the last 33 years. So that will be on the 74 car in the Winston Cup race, and it will be on the 48 car, Shane Mills, in the NASCAR Busch Series race in just a few minutes.
You know, those are two white cars that really need some good billboards on them, didn't they?
Yes, they do. So thank you, Bruton.
Is Tony Raines back out? How about Jeremy Mayfield? Qualified 23rd. Matt, you got something to tell us about him?
Well, he's looking to improve on his career best finish of 5th here at Richmond. He says the car is still on the tight side. They've made several changes. The last time in, he made a track bar and a shock package change on the 19. In fact, Ray Evernham, who's starting to take even more of a role on both teams, acting more like the crew chief that really isn't there in a way. He chimed in on the race and said, hey, remember, I don't know what you guys are running as far as the front bar, but the track here last time went looser than we really thought it would, so keep that in mind because it hurt our drive off. They said, well, we think we're good on the bar. We're just trying to make small changes in other areas. We're very happy, though, with that car currently running 8th in this session.
Wonder how happy Harvick is.
I don't know. Mike Wallace just drove by him in the 09 car. And it looks like Harvick's trying to get back under the 09 car. Marty?
Oh, they are struggling, BP. The most they've been able to run at one time in this session is 12 laps. They have not gotten many laps. It's been a lot of time in the garage area. The car extremely tight for Kevin Harvick. They've thrown everything at it. Haven't been able to loosen it up yet. They're kind of frustrated. They stayed on the same set of tires, and they've tried everything they can to get some speed out of it. Just not there for the 29 car right now.
And look at that, the last 5 races, 5 top 5s. Average finish, 2nd. Boy, they have definitely been on a roll.
He has been second the last 3 straight weeks. You know how this thing works. You put yourself in position to win enough. Sooner or later, you're going to start winning them. Todd Bodine, 54 car. Was the fastest in the first practice session, post-qualifying practice session. 13th.
Yeah, 13th.
34 laps. Fastest ever in the 27th lap.
Boy, that car's cutting pretty good.
And Todd Bodine going to come from 12th starting spot tomorrow night. Texas Terry. Richmond winner, September 95, May 95, and May 98. 3 times been a victory lane here.
19th best in this practice session.
Going to come from 32nd if he's going to win tomorrow night. Elliott Sadler, one of the native Virginians in the field, starting 30th, Dave.
Always wants to do well here if he can, Alan. The problem for Elliott right now is the car is tight in the middle of the corner. They made sort of an in-race adjustment, you might say, to just raise the track bar a little bit to try to fix that condition for him. He also asked, is anyone running the high line yet? He was searching for a line out there that maybe his car would work better at, but the team said, nah, not really yet. So I don't believe Elliott's ventured up there too much.
Elliott will venture to the garage now for some adjustments. Johnny Sauter back behind the wheel of the Kodak car this week. Did not have a provisional to fall back on in qualifying. If he didn't make the race on time, he got the last spot in the field on time.
Qualified 36th. Hey, but he's in. To him, it looked as good as 4th or 5th, probably.
Johnny finished 6th in the NASCAR Busch Series race here back in May. Ryan Newman qualified qualified fourth. How's he doing, Marty?
Struggling. How about that, Alan? They're not very happy, and they're talking in their best engineering terms. They've got a little bit more speed out of the car. Currently, he is 25th on your speed chart, but they're not happy with the car. Wally, I'm sure you've had a car like this. Tight in, loose off. Eventually, that tightness goes away in the middle of the corner, and there's a real snap around. That's what Ryan Newman's dealing with right now. Just cannot get the car to handle the way he wants it to handle.
Well, I think if they fix the tight end, they'll fix the loose off, because what's happening is he's tight in, he's got the wheels turned, and about the center of the corner, you got to be getting on the gas, and then finally the rear catches up with the front, and the thing snaps around loose on exit. So that's a common problem here at Richmond is when your car is loose in and through the middle, it will get sideways getting off the corner.
Ryan Newman burned up a rear gear here in May, which is why he finished so poorly, 39th. Otherwise, he's finished second and second.
See, the flagman just gave someone the black flag.
It's Robbie Gordon. If we were to look down on pit road right now, they're not letting all of the cars out onto the racetrack at once.
I see.
And Robbie Gordon came to that line where they're holding the cars until cars come off the track, and he ran through it. Just, you know, jumped the line and went out onto the racetrack. So they're showing him the black flag and bringing him in.
And there he goes.
Of course, since they're showing the red and black flags now and practice is over, I don't think Robbie lost anything.
Except probably gained something.
He'll get a little lecture probably when he comes in. Ricky Craven just touched the wall with the right side of the Tide ride.
Oh, yeah, just barely.
Ricky, Darlington was last week.
Yeah, that's right. Not at Richmond.
No more stripes. Here's Ricky Craven scuffing up the right side paint on his car. That's not Ricky scuffing up the paint on the right side of his car.
No, that's nothing. That's darkness.
We phrase that as oops. Here we go. That's not going to be good.
Just got a little high in the marbles.
So Winston Cup final practice is over. Jeff Burton was fastest, Jeff Gordon second quickest, and next on TNT, the NASCAR Busch Series race from here in Richmond. Stay with us.